And that way, if anyone pops on with their microphone on, then it won't be disturbing. There we go. Okay, so as we come to a comfortable seat, if you've been here for other classes this week, you know that I'm doing a little focus on the energy centers of the body, and we're all the way up to the second to the last one, the sixth center, which is the third eye. So this is your intuition center. So there's a lot of focus this week on tuning in to your body with your own mind's eye and recognizing what's going on for you. So if you would like to take the mudra or the hand posture for this energy center, you can take first finger and thumb together and then rest your palms up. This is our knowledge posture or jnana mudra. And as you let your eyes close, take a couple full breaths, letting yourself belong through the spine. Setting that intention to tune into your intuition. Take a couple big breaths and bring awareness to your third eye, that space above and in between your eyebrows. If you'd like to add the affirmation here, it's I follow the path of my truth, open to the clarity of my vision. I follow the path of my truth, open to the clarity of my vision. And now connect hands together in prayer position and draw thumbs to your third eye. And take a full breath. And then bring hands to heart center for a full breath. And then bow towards your heart. Now softly opening the eyes, release your hands down. And go ahead and give some movement up and back to your shoulders. Shoulder blades engage. And as you take your right ear over to your right shoulder, take a couple deep breaths and just let the side of your neck be long. On your exhale, tuck your chin down. Your third eye is aiming toward the ground. Take a full big breath. And then left ear to left shoulder. Long through the side of your neck, take a deep breath. Exhale, chin tucks down. Again, third eye toward the ground. And this time, if you want to add little shakes of your head, no, or little nods of your head, yes, you can. And then right ear over to your right shoulder, full breath. And then chin tucks down. This time, if it's comfortable, take a big shake of your head no, so your chin is drawing up toward the shoulder on each side. And then a little bit bigger with that nod of your head yes. And then left ear to left shoulder, big breath. And now inhale, come back into center. Hands walk out to your knees. And exhale, draw your right shoulder forward, your left shoulder back. Little gentle twist here. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. And we'll move with our breath a few times. And if you'd like to, you can close your eyes through this movement. Allowing yourself to maybe tune in a little bit to what's showing up sensation-wise in your body. One more big breath. And then as you come back into center now, press your spine back into your cat-like pose, expanding into the back body. Chin tucks in. Take a deep breath and fill that space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, belly and heart forward, coming into this cat-like pose. Take a full big breath as your shoulder blades engage, long through the back of your neck. You can even let your gaze be a little bit tilted up. And then as you come back into center now, switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself if you're sitting cross-legged. If you're not, you don't have to switch it. Move your sitting bones. And now walk your fingertips out in front of you, and you can always have your hands up on a prop here if you want to. And then move through a couple rounds of this cat and cow action. Inhale, belly and heart move forward. Exhale, round back through your spine. Full deep inhale, long full exhale. And focusing the breath in and out of the nose. One more big breath this way. And then inhale back to the neutral spine, coming upright. Walk your fingertips back behind you a little ways. You can even walk them back a decent amount here if that feels good, or just that little bit, whatever feels the best in your body. Press down with your fingers or your palms and lift up and open through the chest. Feel your shoulder blades engage. Lengthen the back of your neck. And again, your gaze can be a little up here if you would like. If it doesn't feel good on your neck, then tuck your chin in. That's okay. Take a deep breath. And then inhale, rise all the way back up to center. Take your left hand across to your right knee or thigh, taking a spinal twist to the right side. Lengthen your sides. Exhale, ribs in to help you twist. Inhale, come back into center, and exhale, take that twist across to the left side. Press down with hands, lengthen your sides. Exhale, ribs in. Inhale, back into center. And this time we'll walk our way out as far as your body is ready for with your hands or your elbows to come into a forward fold here. Take a big breath and remember that you can always have your elbows up on something. Deep inhale and exhale in and out of your nose. And then rise up to your hands. We're going to shift forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, just take a moment here to move a little bit. You can take whatever free movement feels good. So that could be a cat and cow again. Inhale, belly toward the ground. Exhale, rounding upward through your spine. It could be a little side to side sway of hips or shoulders, or a circular motion through the hips in one direction and then the other direction. Find whatever feels the best in the body right now for a little bit of movement. And then we're going to step forward into our forward fold. And you can do that right here from hands and knees. You can even use a prop like a chair or a stool or blocks. Or you can lift up into a downward facing dog pose to step forward if that feels good in the body. As you work your way into your forward fold, feet are inner hip distance or wider. And then inhale, lengthen part way, hands up above your knees, lengthen your spine. Think of your front body getting longer. Exhale and fold. Inhale, hands up above your knees. Again, your knees are bent. Send your sitting bones up. Extend further with ribs and collarbones. And then walk your hands up your legs to rise all the way up to stand. And as you come up to stand, you can bring your feet in a little closer here if you would like to, if it's comfortable. But open up with your palms. Lift up and open through the shoulders. Eyes closed if you would like. Take a full, big, deep breath. Tune in wherever in the body you're experiencing sensation. And inhale, stretch up overhead. If it's comfortable, you can lift your gaze a little. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold over the legs. Your knees get to stay soft and unlocked. Inhale, lengthen part way, long through the spine. Exhale and fold. Now you're planting fingertips. You're always welcome to use a prop underneath your hands to help you step back. But step the right foot back into your lunge, right knee to the ground. And then bring your hands up to your hips to center with your hips, lengthen with your heart. If you want, you can stretch up. You can even take hands together here to clasp. Take a full, big, deep breath. Exhale, hands come down to whatever you're using for props. Come up to a high point, and then we're working our front leg towards straight as we shift our hips back, coming into a little bit of a hamstring stretch. Pull toes back, and then wrap your left hip back so much that maybe your toes turn a little bit to the left side. Full big breath. Lengthen through your front body. You're extending forward. And then inhale, bend into your front knee, and you're stepping back onto your hands and knees. And then from hands and knees, setting your forearms down, touching first finger and thumb to create a little triangle with your hands. And then your choice. You can keep your head lifted, or you can bring your forehead all the way down, touching your third eye. Take a deep breath in this variation of puppy pose. And then lifting your head, you can rise up to your hands. If it's comfortable, you can lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. If that's not comfortable, you can stay on hands and knees. That's always an option. Take a deep breath. And now we stepped our right foot back. We're going to step our right foot forward. If bringing your knees down to do that is where you need to be, that's okay, because we're coming to our back knee anyway, okay? But it's always an option. So right foot steps forward, your back knee inches back as far as it needs to go to have that length through the back thigh, and then bring your hands up to your hips to rise. Center with your hips, lift up with your heart. If you want, you can stretch up or even clasp your hands. Little gaze up if it's comfortable, deep breath. And now exhale, hands come down to whatever you're using for props. Remember, we're coming up high here, and then working hips back, front leg towards straight for this hamstring stretch. So pull back with your toes and wrap your right hip back. Think of sending sitting bones up and extending your ribs and collarbones forward. Full breath. And now inhale, bend into your front knee and step forward into your forward fold. Next inhale, lengthen part way, hands up above your knees to send sitting bones up, lengthen your front, and exhale, fold over your legs. Hands to hips now, press back on hips, lift up through shoulders and elbows. Think of leading with your triceps and rise all the way up to stand. So you're already broad and open through the chest. From here, inhale, stretch up, lift your gaze, and exhale, hands come to your heart. Pause, take a full, big, deep breath. Tune in throughout your body. Notice what's there. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold, knees stay soft. Inhale, lengthen part way, long spine. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips, and again, you can always use props. Step your left foot back this time into your lunge. And if knee lifted is comfortable for you, you can go there, or you can bring your knee down to the ground, but rise up into your lifted lunge again, hands to your hips. Work your hips towards center, so right hip moves back in space. Push down onto your hips to lift your chest up high. And then if you'd like, you can stretch up, you can clasp your hands, take a full big breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat and find whatever you're using for a prop. Remember, it can be a chair even, or a stool. If you're using just one prop, you'll bring your hands to the inside. If you're using two, they can be on either side of your front leg, but you're working your leg towards straight for this second hamstring stretch. And you can come back to that knee down version if you want to, okay? So big toe mound pushes down, wrap your right hip back in space. And then if your back knee is lifted, you're giving it a bend and sending sitting bones up. Try to stick your butt in the air. Take a full big breath. Extend longer through your front body. Ribs and collarbones move forward. Inhale, bend into your front knee. And now you're settling back onto hands and knees. And we're gonna take this puppy pose variation one more time. So elbows come down to the ground, first finger and thumb connect, and then maybe you set your head down as your hips are a little bit lifted. And now rise back up to your hands. You can stay on hands and knees, or you can tuck toes, lift hips, downward facing dog pose. Take a full big breath. And now we stepped our right foot or our left foot back rather this time. So we're stepping our left foot forward. So you can always bring the back knee down to step your foot forward. You can always use props underneath your hands. Back knee up or down. Bring your hands up to your hips. Center with your hips, lift your heart, and then maybe stretch. You're welcome to clasp your hands or keep them separate. Take a deep breath. Exhaling, hands come down to your blocks or your props, whatever you're using, and work your front leg towards straight. Big toe mound is pushing down on your left leg, and wrap your left hip back. Then bend your right knee and send sitting bones up. And again, this can be that knee down variation of a hamstring stretch if you would like it to be. Take a full big breath and grow longer through your front body. And then inhale, bend into your front knee and step forward, coming into your forward fold. Exhale, fold over your legs as deeply as you need. So you can have a considerable bend, you can have hands on something. You can even have elbows or hands on your thighs. And now inhale, extend your heart, walk your hands up your legs to rise all the way up to stand. Shoulders are up and back, stretching all the way up on your next inhale. And exhale, hands come to your heart, eyes open or closed, your choice. Take a full breath. And then softly letting your eyes open. We're going to find a balance onto our right foot. And then turn left toes sideways, so we're turning our knee open. Coming into our tree pose now. You're going to use your glute on your standing leg to help you push. So give a little bend to your right knee, squeeze your glute, push into the ground, and then bring left foot wherever you need it to be. Below the knee, above the knee, or it can stay a kickstand, okay? All of those are options. From this place, hands down to your thighs, and you're opening the left thigh up so that the pinky toe edge of your left foot, if it's on your leg, is pushing more. Standing leg thigh, push your thigh bone back so that you're creating a little more hip crease, and then lift your chest, maybe stretch up. Maybe stay with your arms a little lower in gratitude or hands at the heart or hips. Take a big breath. Find that point to focus on that doesn't move, and even out your breath. Exhale, foot back to the ground. And now left foot is balancing. Right toes turn sideways first. So you find that opening here. Squeeze your standing glute, push into the ground to stand taller, and then bring your foot where you need it to be. High, low, kickstand, avoid the knee joint, lift your ribs. And now open the thigh up a little more, push the thigh bone back on your standing leg to create that hip space, lift your chest, and maybe stretch, full breath. You decide where that is, find the point to focus on that doesn't move, and take a deeper breath. Good, exhale, foot back to the ground. Hands come to your heart. Pause for a moment, maybe take your gaze to your fingertips. Take a deep breath. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold, keeping knees soft. Inhale, lengthen part way. And exhale, fold. Full big deep breath. In your fold, you're welcome to bring feet a little wider than your hips. Give your knees a little bend. Let your head hang if it's comfortable. And even close your eyes if that's okay with your system. Holding on to opposite elbows, or you can always clasp hands behind the backside of your neck. Add a little bit of movement side to side through your torso. And then plant your hands. You can heel toe your feet back in. And then work back into a hands and knees position. Hips back toward your heels into a child's pose or a puppy pose. Take a couple full breaths, letting your forehead rest. And if it is resting and if it's comfortable, you can always rock over your forehead from side to side. And now gently bring yourself all the way back upright, and we're gonna come down onto sitting bones. And then we're gonna take one restorative pose before we come all the way down onto our backs. So if you have a pillow or bolster, you can also use a rolled up blanket for this, but you're gonna set it at the front of your mat. And then you're gonna sit sideways so that you're turned to the right side. Your left hip is right close to the bolster or pillow, whatever you're using. You can even put two blocks together long and set a blanket over it. That makes a good bolster sometimes. So now knees bend, and then turn your belly and your heart towards your bolster. And you're gonna come to rest over your bolster in this gentle twist. And with that in mind, think about adjusting it to be more comfortable. If there's any tension, you can twist a little less, you can twist a little more. You can change the angle of your legs or even prop up a knee or two. And as you take a few breaths here, tune in with your mind's eye to sense whatever is showing up in your body. And now use your hands for support to help yourself come all the way up to your seat. And we're going to turn ourselves around, keeping the bolster where it is. Right hip is right up close to the bolster or pillow. And then knees bend. Turn your hips, turn your belly, turn your heart, and start to rest over your bolster. And again, remember that you can always shift and adjust to make it more comfortable. And now use your hands to support you to bring yourself all the way back upright. And then you can bring your legs around to the front. Set your bolster aside for now. Find your blanket if you're using one, if you have one handy, and you'll find a fold of it so you have a longer side, and then roll that side up. And you can set that aside for now, but then come all the way down onto your back. And as you come down onto your back, feet are a little wider than hips to drop your knees in together to touch. Reach your arms long overhead. And from here, add a little bit of movement through your pelvis. A little pivot, a little rock side to side, a little tilt forward and back. And then separate your knees, walk your feet wide, and take just a couple windshield wipers. Both knees drop to one side, both knees drop to the other side. And then coming back into center, you can walk your feet back in and drop your knees in together to touch again if that feels good. You're gonna take your rolled up blanket underneath your neck. And if you're not using a blanket underneath your neck, that's okay too. You can still do this movement. And now, if it's comfortable, you can set legs over a pillow or bolster. And let them come down to rest, or take feet together into a butterfly with your knees opening over the pillow or bolster. But then shake your head no toward the ceiling, keeping your head resting back, your neck is resting back. And then nod your head yes toward the ceiling. Again, you're keeping your head back the whole time, just working some of that mobility through the neck. Turn your head over to the right side and nod. And to the left side and nod. And then with your head coming back into center now, arms are a little ways from your body with your palms up, inch your shoulder blades toward each other. You can stay right here with your legs resting and your neck being supported, or you can shift to something else that would be more comfortable. Find your Shavasana and your resting pose. And as you find that place for yourself, use your breath to help you. Tune into your body and all the spaces from your feet to your crown. Tune into your mind and any thoughts that might be showing up. And give yourself permission to release and let go any of the work that might be there. Bring awareness back to your breath. And bring some gentle movement into your fingers and into your toes. And as you're ready to, you can bend your knees and roll over to whichever side feels best. And slowly and gently press yourself back up to your seat. Stacking one hand over the other in your heart space, take a moment with your eyes closed to come back to your full breath. Have a very peaceful, very beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.